So, welcome to the call, everybody. This week we are going to be going over how to transform your fear into courage. I just did a video on this last week, and I want to kind of talk about this a little bit. So, I thought it'd be a great topic. I had a client who's had a lot of tough time with this in his life. Who's one of the clients that's had a more challenging time with this in his life, and we did a training on this too not too long ago, where we went deeper into this process, and and he says it's been huge for transforming his life, and it's a realization I had recently that was so powerful, and the understanding of, and I think I'm gonna go through the history of this a little bit and how it came to be and how I came to these realizations, and the understanding of what this means and what it could mean to your life as an individual. And for a lot of people that have trouble stepping into tension, like they step into tension on a regular basis, and for some reason they're still in resistance. Matter of fact, they go into more resistance, and they just see it as stress, right? They step into the tension, there's constant stress, and then they eventually burn out. But yet, you look at the most successful people in the world, the Elon Musk, the Richard Bransons, the all these successful, bold, powerful kind of people, and they love the tension. They step into it constantly, and they grow, and they get stronger. And that's what we're talking about. That's the type of tension we want. And how do you create that type of tension? How do you own that type of tension? Instead of falling apart under tension, like when a girl rejects you, you get stronger, more resilient, more powerful. Instead of falling apart when you have to get up at 4 a.m. to go work out, you get more turned on for your workouts. You get more excited. Instead of falling apart when you don't lose money in your business, you get more turned on, more excited, and you go out and you sell more because of it. So if you want that kind of change, that's what we're going to be talking about here today on the the weekly Fearless Show, whatever we call it, Tuesday Night Lives. I just want to check in. How are you guys doing? Is everybody there? Can y'all hear me? Put a little comment in the chat. Usually people are putting in comments in the chats by now. If you can hear me and everything I just said was heard, and I'm not just talking to myself, that would be really good to know. And I'm not seeing any comments, so maybe I am talking to myself. I'm beginning to wonder. Cairo, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah.
Huh. Oh, there we go. There's one. Okay, I'll see all these people online, but nobody's commenting. There we go. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Good. We're all good. As far, hey Cairo, really quick, is there anything special that I'm going to be reminding them about that we got going on before I get started this week? And I just want to remember to make sure I tell them about any events coming up, anything like that.
Not this week so far, no.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's dive in. So who saw the video that I did on turning fear into courage and the tension and the new courage journal instead of the tension journal? Who watched that one? Go ahead and put a comment in if you saw it. Or if you didn't see it, tell me you didn't see it. A lot of you probably didn't see it. Some of you did see it. I believe it came out last Sunday or the Sunday before, but it's right on the YouTube channel. You can plop a link in there, Landon, or Cairo, whoever's got the link to the video, so that they can have it, just so they have it up if they did. Now, awesome, Joseph. I'm glad you saw it. So there's a link in there for those of you that haven't seen it. Tension is life, Rocco. Roll. Good job, Rocco. You're inspiring me here. And I had the same feeling and the same realization. It all started with a client many years ago. I was hanging out with the client, and he'd been doing all this work. And you guys know that we do a lot in the field. Now, we don't have a lot of videos on what we do in the field, but we do a lot out in the field, out around people, socialization exercises, expression exercises, learning to be seen, learning to calibrate your vibration so you're not too far above or too far below people, learning to pull people in with your energy, learning to talk to people with turn on or your heart or warm energy, making people smile. We have all kinds of practices. And we call these the 1%ers. It's 1% here, 1% there, 1% here, 1% there. And in time, as you practice each 1%, they all start to come together, and they start to go into a natural flow where you're no longer thinking. And when you stop thinking, and this is what the experience and our week-longs are about, you suddenly start just becoming naturally social. You go out and you're at the grocery store, like there's an Air One grocery store over here, and I'll walk in there and I just start asking, hey, what's up? How you doing? Hey, I love that. It just comes out of you, and you start having conversations with people, and other people see you. Maybe you're not talking to the girl of your dreams, but the girl that likes you is over there in the watching you be a social person. They feel that social energy, and you don't even have to be gregarious. You can be shy and do this. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to be big. You just have to be able to connect with people. And so it's very powerful. Well, I don't mean shy, introverted. Excuse me. Shy and introverted are two different things. And by the way, introverted people can be very confident. When they want to talk to somebody, they can go talk to them. They're just naturally more introverted in life. Shy people would be scared to go talk to somebody. There's a big difference between the two. Okay. So just so we get that across. I step in it. It's good that you step in attention slowly. That's what builds it. And courage is the key, and we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about how to put all this together so that this could be the most transforming year of your life if you get this principle down. If you really nail this principle, this can be the most transforming year of your life. And this is the lowest audience I think I've had in a long time. I don't know why that is, but you guys are going to get all the secrets this week and not anybody else. So I did this last weekend, and I was also talking to girls, and I was getting looks all night. Perfect. So as we go out and do these practices, I had a client I was giving tons of practices to, and he was going out every day because he wanted to get good with women. He wanted to get more social. He wanted to stop being shy. And every day he was going out and having tons of interactions, upwards of 80 interactions a day, And that doesn't mean he's hitting on girls every time. He's talking to everybody. Interaction could be a quick stop and a quick question. It could be a quick hi. It could be, it's a lot of ways. We used to go out and do like 80 stops a day, 100 stops a day. And then if you saw a cute girl, you stop her too, of course. But in that, you're talking to everybody. And then you might talk to 3 or 4 people, 5 people, and you see a cute girl and you go talk to her too. And now you're in flow state, right? And so he'd been doing this for a while. And usually people change pretty fast when they do it on a daily basis. And for those of you who want fast change, that's kind of the secret. Consistency on a daily basis is the key. So he'd been doing it on a regular basis, and he said, yeah, I'm not really changing. I'm not really enjoying it. I'm not having any, it's not working for me. And I asked him, I started to think about it, and I looked at him and I said, what's going on with you? And then it occurred to me, and I said, well, are you doing this because you want to? And he says, no. I said, then why are you doing it? Because you told me to. And he says, ultimately, I want to change this area of my life, but I don't want to do this work, but I have to do this work, so I'm going to do it. And I said, oh, so you're doing it because you have to? Yeah. Yeah. And I said, then you're not going to change. So he was stepping into a lot of tension because he had to, he needed to, he should, but not because he wanted to or chose to. It wasn't his personal mission to go out there and change this part of his life. He just felt he needed to do it to get to where he needed to be, even though he really didn't give a fuck. And who can relate to that? Who goes to work every day in the morning, stepping into a lot of tension because you have to? Who goes to build something like make money? This is the worst. You go to start a business and you go do the business and you try to like it because you have to, because you need the money. Who goes to approach women because you have to, because you need the women's attention to feel good about yourself, or because you want to date, or because you want sex? And how does that feel when you do that day in and day out? How long before that burns you out? It's a very, very, very damaging process. I feel the same as the guy you're talking about sometimes. Yes. Okay, good. Keep doing more work. Intentional step into. Okay, good. Good job, guys. Consistency. So anybody else experience what my client was experiencing? Hey, Mark, what's up, buddy? I got to have you back on the show someday. Mark Irons in the chat, guys. He is a monster when it comes to hormones and testosterone and building muscle. So who knows what I'm talking about? This stepping into tension. Like, tension is life, and but who knows that who when they do it, it just feels burned out. So now that Mark's on the call, it reminds me of, I'm going to give you a little bit more backstory to understand this a little bit more. When I first started teaching this, it was there was a woman named Kelly McGonigal who has a 17-minute YouTube video, how to make stress your friend. And if one of you guys can find that and post that in here, that would be great for them to look at. Great video. And she said, she's a health psychologist, and she said for years she thought, and I'm going to add to this, I'm going to change what she said here. She said, or I'm going to add to what she said. She said that stepping into, she said that they did a study over 8 years of about 30,000 people, I believe it was. And they asked them, Do you have a lot of stress? Do you have medium stress, or do you have low stress? And do you like stress? Do you think stress is good for you? Do you think stress is bad for you? And two groups at the end of the 8 years stood out. One group that had a lot of stress and thought stress was bad for them had the most failures, the most deaths, the most problems in their life. So you'd think stress was bad for people. But the group that said stress was good for you, but and had a lot of stress, so thought stress was truly really good for them, had the most successes and the best health. So is stress really the issue? In this video, they really talk about it. They go deep into this principle. They talk about what happens inside the body, how for the people that think stress is good for them, they get more blood flow to the heart. For people that think stress is bad for them, they get less blood flow to the heart. All these little things that happen inside the body to cause the body to either get tired and beat down from the chemicals and the hormones, all the way to the body becoming alive and feeling fully alive. And so I want you all to watch that video. It's we just posted in there, how to make stress your friend. Don't watch it right now, save it for later. And so when I was telling my client to go do all these approaches, he was looking at it as a have to. He was looking at stress as bad. I have to do this work. I have to push into this tension. He had a bad relationship to tension. He had a bad relationship to stress. Imagine lifting weights and having a bad relationship to the weights. You're going to go out there and lift every day, but you hate it. You don't want to do it. You think it's bad for you. You're convinced, this is just not going to work. How long before you hurt yourself? What's the odds you'll continue to do it? What's the odds you'll grow muscle doing that with that attitude? What's the odds you'll get the right hormones to grow muscle? There's something Mark could talk to. You're not. It's going to be a catastrophe. Okay. But as you get more relaxed and as you change and you get more comfortable and happier and more alive and you begin to enjoy the stress, that changes everything. So when we talk about the courage journal, the reason I changed it from the tension journal to the courage journal was one simple reason. And this is the key to success, guys. This is the huge key to success. Is that there's three types of tension that I'm talking about here. There's anger, there's pride, and there's courage. And that's all on the emotional scale when it comes to the revealing process. Who here's done the revealing process? Put a comment in the video if you've done the revealing process. The revealing process is a powerful, powerful process that helps to change your subconscious mind and your relationship to emotions. It develops deep emotional intelligence so you can shift and convert your belief systems. But one of the keys in there is tension. And it goes apathy, grief, fear, lust, anger. That's the first intensity emotion. Anger, pride, courage, acceptance, love, peace. So when you hit anger, pride, and courage, all three of those energies are intense, aren't they? Awesome. I love that you guys are doing it. You're all doing your revealing process. And you release to reveal, guys. It's not just releasing. You got to release and then you reveal the direction you're going. If you're not looking where you're going, you're going to have trouble. So we got this tension journal. And so I started calling it the courage journal recently, because what you're really doing is a lot of you guys are stepping into tension every day with beautiful women, with approaching, with flirting, with socializing, but you're doing it from either anger or pride. And if you don't enjoy your pride, that's a real problem. So you're doing it from anger or pride. So if every day he's pushing and he's frustrated and he's in frustrations, anger, and wanting mixed together, and my client's pushing again, he's frustrated and then he gets angry and he gets annoyed, and maybe he feels a little better once in a while, has a little success. How long before he burns out? Because he's really doing it because he has to. Now, imagine he goes out every day and he feels courage. How's that tension going to feel different? Tension is going to feel radically different from courage, isn't it? And when he starts to feel courage, courage is this ability to, it's still intense. Anger is intense and courage is intense. But in courage, you feel more alive. You feel more excited. You get better hormones pumping. You're kind of turned on for what you're doing. You're kind of slaying the dragon in front of you and you're feeling good and you wake up ready to attack the day, as Mark would say. And when you're in anger, I just got to get the fucking job done. And that's the difference between the two. So in a courage journal, where we're journaling, we're actually noticing when we're in anger, pride, or courage, and we're constantly moving our emotional state to courage and teaching ourselves to relate to courage. I call it the slide. You're sliding from anger to courage. In anger, you're in a lose-lose situation. It's super reactive in a bad way. I become super reactive to the moment. I become super reactive to the environment. So I'm just trying to. Let's say I'm using anger, and I just got to get this done. And there's that reactive energy. I got to get it done. I'm rushing through the tension, um, or or I'm gonna attack this thing and get it and fucking destroy it, so I don't have a problem with it anymore. Also, really reactive to the tension. You're not learning from it. You're trying to destroy the tension, and that's not good for you. I'm gonna change this lighting a bit. There we go. Hopefully that's not too much. There we go. That's better. So, so kind of play with that for a minute, and that's that reactive part of tension. Now, in pride, it's win lose. There's going to be a winner, and there's going to be a loser. I'm going to be the fucking winner. You're going to be the fucking loser. That's a different attitude completely. Some people are good with pride. Like Donald Trump's good with pride. He loves competing, right? People that love competing and love having a winner and a loser are typically good at pride, but most people really need to work their way up to courage. That's where the energy really shines. And try to fix this light here. Hold on really quick. Nah, that sucks. Let's go with the first one. Okay. So it's a real quick slide. Think about it on the emotional chart from anger to courage. If I'm in lose-lose and I'm feeling angry, what can I do right now to get a win so I can get at least a little bit of pride? What can I do right now to get a win-win so that everybody's learning from this? How can I change the way I'm thinking to create a win-win? Do I need to decrease the amount of tension? Because you gotta lift just the right amount of tension, right? So if I'm lifting weights as an example, if I'm lifting way too much weight because I'm in pride, because I want everybody around me to think I'm cool, if I drop all that and I say, what's the win-win? If I really, in the long term, want to get to a really fit body and a lot of muscle, I need to do this right. And I need to surrender to the moment and create a win-win for myself and everybody around me. Stop trying to show off, stop trying to be cool. And that can change everything very, very quickly. So that's what I'm talking about. So with the tension journal, if you start journaling your tension every day, you pick 3 areas of your life that you're going to journal, or 3 things you're going to do that day where you're going to step into tension, and you start to write down what those are. This is where the game is played. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. But before I do, I want to make sure you're all getting my concepts. So let me just do a quick check-in with you guys and see your comments. Got great information, brother. This is Mark Iron. Anger will enlarge brain circuits responsible for anger. Exactly. Stronger neural pathways, right? And courage will enlarge courage. Let's enlarge courage. And so we want to learn how to access courage at will and turn off the anger. That's the key. I'm going to turn that down a bit. Okay. And we want to learn to just keep compounding that. Going to get into touch with you guys this week. Okay, that's Jag. Awesome, Jag. Be good to have you. Okay. I have a lot of repressed anger. Releasing is a powerful weapon. It's very powerful. I don't think of it as a weapon, but you might, and it's changing my life right now. I'll tell you guys, just so you guys know, I'm doing the revealing process about 3 hours a day right now, minimum. Sometimes more. And I've been doing it for about the last month. For those of you that follow me on social media, on Instagram, my private Instagram, that's why I haven't been posting. I've been putting all my time into changing my mindset. Right now, I'm going for a big shift in my subconscious mind. So I'm revealing a minimum of 3 hours a day, and so we'll be popping back up on my Instagram soon. Brian Begin. If you don't have my Instagram, you guys can like me on there, and you'll see that I put a lot of personal growth stuff on there when I get going again. Okay, awesome. Okay, good. You're understanding. How do I have fun with this process? So stressful. So just really quick, who out there, when they go to do revealing and you go out to approach women, you go out to go after your goal, whatever it is, do you tend, maybe it's going out to work out every day. Do you tend to get frustrated? Do you tend to get heavy? Does it feel like I have to? Does it feel like I need to? Who feels that energy? And then who feels like excited and alive and turned on for stepping into tension? And you might find that one area you get excited, maybe going to the gym, you get excited, approaching women, you get heavy, or vice versa. And that's okay. It's just a different set of beliefs for each one, causing a different reaction. And one, you're going down the intensity scale, and you might even be going below intensity all the way down. If you get frustrated, you're going to anger and wanting, and then eventually you crash down to grief. And then eventually you just numb out and say, fuck it. That's the avoidance, right? If you're in, but if you're really excited, you might pop up to courage, keep pushing, and then eventually you come into acceptance, and you just accept where you're at, and you grow into the next level, and then you push to the next level, and you keep that cycle going. So we want to develop a conscious, hear this, a conscious understanding of that cycle, a conscious understanding of that process of getting the brain to see, experience the body, the slide to courage, and riding it all the way up to acceptance, and then raising the bar again, more tension, and doing it again, and then raising the bar, more tension. And pretty soon, what used to scare you becomes easy. I remember when spending $500 used to terrify me. I thought I was going to lose. I can't lose this money. Now I don't even get close to as scared over 5,000, even 50,000. I don't think it's like, it's kind of ridiculous, the difference in my mindset around money. That type of tension used to terrify me. Money used to terrify me. Losing money used to terrify me. Now I'm like, money's just energy, guys. You start to change your mindset, and you start to look at finances, money, success, spending money differently. It's the same with all areas of life. It's all stories in your brain. And if you don't learn to rise up that emotional scale, the revealing process, you will reinforce the fear, the pain, the negativity, and you will actually create more anxiety around the subject matter you're working on. So, okay, I feel the resistance, Chris wrote. Greg, enjoy that tension. So let's take a look. I used to be heavy with women, but I've moved it to something exciting, and this feeling of I can handle this. Good job, man. Good job. Good job. I love it. I felt that way to do when I wussied out talking to a cute girl at the gym. Awesome. Good realizations. Okay. So let's talk about this a little deeper. Let's go a little deeper. Now, what do you do about it? How do you change it? Well, first off, you got to lift the right amount of weight, right? When you go to the gym, how many of you guys are notorious for trying to lift way more weight than your body should be lifting because you really want to look strong, you want to look tough, you want to look macho, you want to get to your goal, you want to lie to yourself because you hate the idea that you should be that you're lifting way less than everybody else, and so you push yourself way too hard. How many of you are willing to slow way down, lift less weight, feel each movement of that weight, be really present with it, really work the eccentric, the downward, like if I'm doing a bench press, that downward motion, really feel it, really feel each muscle work as I come down really slow, and then maybe blast out the concentric, the positive, the forward, and really work that muscle, get a good understanding and a relationship to that muscle so it understands what you're wanting it to do, versus the guy who just loads it up with weights and he's all over the place and he's falling. That's the reactive versus the proactive guy. If you want to get good at what I'm talking about, I'm going to recommend you get a journal, a courage journal. And we're talking about creating one of these. So if you want one, let me know. If we actually create one, and we're going to create a courage and success journal together if we do this. And what you're going to do is you just get a journal, and every day you write in there 2 or 3 areas where you're going to step into courage through tension. Tension is a type. Courage is a type of tension. So you're gonna write down, maybe ask your boss for a raise, approach that cute blonde at the restaurant I go to all the time, ask for a discount on something somewhere, or whatever it is. You're gonna do this 3 to 5 times a day, let's say. The first thing you need to do is really learn to be honest with yourself, like that guy at the gym. I shouldn't be lifting this much weight. It's too much. I need to slow the fuck down. Okay. That's the first step. I need to realize what my body can handle, and I need to be honest with myself. And that's the first step. Abundance mindset. Yes. And that's the first step. Okay. So what is your honest truth when let's say we're going to work on approaching that cute blonde at the restaurant you go to and telling her she's cute. And I ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much tension does that create for you? And I want you to ask, and if you all have something right now, think of something right now. How much, whatever you're thinking of, how much tension does it create for you to go do that thing on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being too much. My head's going to blow up. I'm scared to death. I don't want to do it. 0 being no tension at all. And find something that's like a 3 or a 4, not too high. You don't need to go 7s and 8s all the time. Matter of fact, low, regular, consistent tension is actually better than a lot of 7s and 8s because you can burn out from those too. Because you can convert 7s and 8s to courage really fast. And then I want you to ask yourself, the second thing I want you to ask yourself, do I feel like I am wanting and choosing to do this, or am I having to do this? And then ask yourself, how can I move this to choice? Sometimes just the the state of asking, I don't know what the word state's not right, but the act of asking that question of yourself often will change it. How can I change this to courage? And so you see that cute girl and you're like, I have to do it. I need to do this. I need to prove. No, wait a minute. I don't want to approach her from have to. How can I move this to courage? Maybe I don't go over there and tell her she's fucking hot. Maybe I just go over there and say, I like your jacket. Say, hey, is that a new jacket? Or I like your new haircut or whatever. It's a little lower tension, but you feel more relaxed and you're able to, I can own that. But going over and saying, oh man, you're so beautiful is a little too much for me right now. Find what you can own from a state of win-win. Find what you can own from a state of at least pride, but preferably win-win. This sense, not from I got to just get this done. Get out of I got to just get this done. And then when you walk over, don't rush, don't run. If you're encouraged, you're going to walk over relaxed, breathe in your body as low as you can, and do it from there. And then when you're done, write down what you learned from it, how you grew, how relaxed you were, how much you played with the energy. What is the win-win? What did you learn? How did you benefit? How did the other person benefit from this act? And that's the win-win. That's the courage. And the more you do this act, the more you're going to change your life. The more your life is going to grow, the more you're going to build this love for tension because you're going to start to see the growth that naturally happens in tension. Now, I had a client that, not even a client, a guy. I told the story in the video, and you guys need to check out the video I did on courage. Can you put the link in there to the video on courage? I have a video that we did last week. It's in the YouTube channel. I think you should all watch it. In that video, I reference the emotional scale. There is a download in that video for the emotional scale. If you go watch the video, you can get the download and you can see all the subtle emotions that go with courage. And I want you to do me a simple practice. Download that sheet. It's huge. It's lots of emotions on there. In courage, for example, there's adventure, there's alert, there's alive, there's decisiveness, there's feeling powerful. These are courage-based emotions. I want you to go through and I want you to read that list every day for a while. Learn to identify with courage, to understand what it feels like, to learn to access it at will. Ask yourself, with each one of those little emotions, subtle emotions, ask yourself, when have I felt this before? When have I felt alert? When have I felt adventurous? When have I been on an adventure? When have I felt decisive? When have I felt like I can make a choice and I'm powerful? And ask yourself, what does that feel like in my body? Get to know that emotion, to get it to where you can call it up at will, and then start utilizing it in your tension journal every time you go out to approach somebody, to talk to somebody, to go for something. Now, let me get back to this guy. This guy was just at a talk of mine, and he did, and I reference him in this other video. And he created his own tension journal. I wasn't calling it a courage journal this time. I just said step into tension every day and journal it. And he went and did this like 3 to 5 times a day. And in a very short period of time, he got himself a new girlfriend. He moved in with her, got himself a €9,000 a year raise, and was happier than he'd ever been in his life because he realized that stepping into tension, committing to it fully, is life changing. But you do need to come from courage. You do need to come from a high level of pride or courage. You need, and then above acceptance, peace, somewhere up there. And that's the piece that's been missing for a lot of you guys. That have to energy has got to go. And you can get it out very quickly if you start to learn the difference between the have to and the courage. Now, if you look at the scale, there's going to be a lot of subtle emotions for anger, pride, and courage. If you read through all three, you can start to identify the difference between them. You can start to get to know the difference, and you can start to identify which one you're in very quickly and make a quick adjustment internally to make sure you're not utilizing one that is going to feel reactive and make you feel like shit later. And you're going to start developing one that's going to feel good. So there's a link in there, how to develop courage and tension skills fast. If you look through that video, somewhere in there is an emotions chart. I promise you, it's somewhere in that video or somewhere in the description, so you can find it. Definitely check it out. Watch the video. The reason I want you to do that is because you're going to learn more by going through the video and figuring this shit out. And I want you guys to learn. I don't want you guys to just like data collect. I want you to actually put some time into these processes. It's hard to get a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys just want to watch and get these concepts in your brain and never practice. I'd rather see you practicing 70% of the time and watching 30% of the time. I want to see you out there taking action, changing your lives. I love it when I get the texts about how your lives changed or how much better your life is or how you're growing. I get those texts all the time now, and they melt my heart. They make me feel good. And especially when I get it from a man that he and a woman who redeveloped their whole relationship with this work. Like suddenly they're happier they've ever been. Their relationship's stronger. They're more in love. I get those a lot. And we're not even a relationship company. So it's fantastic when that happens. So, there's one right there. Your videos have been helpful and gorgeous girls started approaching me, which is surprising, but I always seem to get stuck with texting. Texting is a bitch, man. But it's really not that hard. It's actually super easy once you understand what you're doing wrong. We don't really have a texting program, but at the last Integrated Man Summit, I did an interview with Alex from Playing with Fire, and he's got really good texting principles. He's a little more pick-upy in his approach, or a little more just straightforward energy. But he's if you apply his principles, they work. I mean, in the sense that you just use our mindset with his, and you're going to do really well. And it's easy to learn. If you don't have to be a player with it, you can just apply our mindset if you want, or if you want to be a player, be a player. Good evening from Florida. Awesome, man. Good to have you. Alive and excited. That's good. That's courage, man. Alive and excited is all up in courage. Chris, does the journal have to be in paper? It's preferable that it's in paper. I've done it digitally, but I'll tell you right now, I used the best is when I carried a little notepad in my back pocket, a short one, and I wrote it all down. Now we're talking about creating one of these, and you guys can get inserts or we can sell them monthly. If you guys want that, let us know. A lot of people have been telling me they want it, but I don't want to put the effort into creating something that ultimately nobody's going to buy, because sometimes you guys say, oh, I want it, and you don't mean it. So because you can create it on your own, but there's just something about having one. It'll have like fearless written on it. It'll only the confident really live, and probably little like sayings and slogans and reminders and motivational stuff. And so in that sense, I'd probably use it too. So if you want something like that, let me know. That's so good. Feeling each one, and what does that feel like? Okay, good. Yeah, that's exactly it, buddy. You got it. That's the emotional scale Jess was talking about there. Men are powerful. Yes, they are. Men and women are both powerful. There's a powerful version of both, and there's a weak version of both. And any human being on this planet can become the powerful version if they want to be. And powerful men want to be with powerful women, to be honest, and vice versa. Stepping out of my comfort zone makes my heart race while doing it, and I can't seem to think how to control that. I just went through a whole video on that. That's what this whole topic's about, dude. Back off the tension and find a weight you can handle. Stop doing 7s and start doing 2s and 3s. Start learning to work at your level. If you missed half of this video, go back and watch it. Watch the other video on turning fear into courage and developing the courage journal that we linked in here. And we can put that link back in here so they can go watch that other video. Do everything I said. So you've got the resources. Go back, watch this one, watch that other one. Apply the principles. Don't just ask me the question. Come back after you applied. With texting, I don't feel the energy of the girl, which leaves me in a you're trying to read her. So when you're trying to read somebody and you're trying to feel their energy, then you've got some type of codependency going on. So it's really hard to be you when you need to bounce off of somebody else to decide how you're going to be. it doesn't hurt to bounce off of somebody else if they're there, but if they're not there, you can still be you if you're not codependent, if you're interdependent. So you have to break that pattern. No more Mr. Nice Guy, stuff like that. A lot of our work. Um, I'm struggling with addiction. If there's anyone who can relate and can talk, Codependence Anonymous, possibly. I'm sure there's addiction groups out there. Go look them up. And I don't know what kind of addiction you're talking about, but there's a group for almost everything you can think of. And Coda is a great place to start, and then you can expand out from there. Or any type of codependent group or 12-step group, excuse me. Tension and vulnerability. It's hard to come up with things to say and also maintain good energy. Okay. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, but you're buying into your stories, guys. You can slay those with this concept. You can destroy those. And if you add the gains journal, which I just did a video on, it's not out yet. It'll be out in a couple weeks. Or the success journal, then you can actually really blow up your success in this area. These 2 mindset hacks could change your whole life if you do them. The problem is the average person won't do them. They'll read about them. They'll do them for a couple of days. They won't do them for a month straight, which is what they need to do. And that's why the average person needs a coach. I did, because I would quit everything. But then eventually I got a coach, and I couldn't quit because I was responsible to somebody, and I was in a group, and I got into workshops, and I got into trainings, and my life radically changed. You see, I got out there, and what made it finally happen for me was pain. To be honest, most of my big changes come from when I get into enough pain, I'm willing to do the deep work. And right now, I'm going through a massive transformation again, and it's not done by any stretch of the imagination. I'm feeling fantastic and growing bigger, and you're going to see a different Brian, because I'm doing my own revealing process so many hours a day right now, because I want to, in a sense, gut my ego and really change who I'm being for you guys, to help take everything, myself, my life, and then spread that out to you guys at another level. So, awesome. What do we got here? Let's check it. It's all about practice. The more you get better at this, I realize you're okay. That's okay. Cool. Awesome. So you got 2 resources this week. You got the previous video we did, and there's a tension journal in there. Not a tension journal, a motion sheet. You can create your own tension journal. If you guys want a tension journal, you have to let me know you want one. When I get enough requests and enough people asking me for them repeatedly, whether it's in my Instagram, whether it's in the YouTube videos, whether it's on here, we will consider creating one, and I will put the effort in, but I'm not going to do it until I get enough requests. And that'll come with a success journal too, and how to do it, probably some videos on how to do it, and direct teachings. Awesome. Okay. So any last questions as I close out the night? This was a fun conversation. We flew through it. I was super excited to talk about it. Any remaining questions coming up? I'm glad we got up to 42 people. It was a slow start tonight. Some of you guys missed the beginning, and I highly recommend you go back and catch it, because I think this call right here, if you actually apply the principles from this and that other video, it can be life-changing. I'll check those out. Awesome. Practice with small wins, all big wins. You can do a big ones once in a while, but if you start with 3s and 4s on the tension scale and work on developing courage, it's so much easier. It's like going to the gym and, I'm going to lift heavy every week. You're going to burn out. Imagine you were trying to lift your personal best every week, a PR every week, your max rep you're going to burn out. You're going to hurt yourself. You do that once in a while as a stretch, but most of the time I lift really light now, but I work to fatigue. I really burn the muscle out. And I've seen amazing changes when I started doing that versus just trying to lift heavy all the time. And I feel better. So, can you summarize? Watch the video again, buddy. I just did. And I have a whole YouTube video on it too, that's linked in here. Literally, there's a YouTube video where I talk about it. It's linked in here. It's in here in this whole conversation. Plus, there's in both cases, I talked about the journal. You guys got plenty of resources. It's all going to be on YouTube. You can watch them all over and over 100 times if you want. So, so cool. And that's pretty much it. I see that there's no more new questions. This video will go up shortly tonight after we get done. It's good having you guys on here. We do have a product out there that will come out at a later date. It's not out right now, but it was on this very topic where I did an all-day in-depth dive into it, where we actually went through all kinds of stuff, and it was life-changing for a lot of people. I'm sure that product will come out down the road, the disruption system. So keep an eye out, guys. But for right now, it's just for the people that took the program. That was in December, and it killed, and that's why I love this topic right now, because it's radically changing people's lives. What is the difference between grounding and repressing? Interesting question. Grounding is when you let the energy flow through you. Think of a car battery. If it doesn't have a grounding wire, it can't work right. If the grounding wire is loose, it might short, stuff like that. And repressing is when you're not grounding, you're pulling, and you're just pulling the energy in and holding it. And eventually, have you ever seen those old men and women that get really rigid and tight, and they don't have any flexibility because they've repressed so much into their body? They don't have any much emotional flexibility either. And then as some people get a lot of them, they kept letting everything flow through them. Like there's no kinks in the hose. If you get a hose and you kink it, each kink builds up pressure until the hose becomes super rigid. If all those kinks are out and everything's flowing and the water's flowing through the hose into the ground, right? Then now you're not holding on to anything. You're not holding on to the memory of your ex-girlfriend, or the time your wife said this, or that the time your mom did this or dad did that, or all this stuff that came up in your life. And you're just letting it flow through you. And that art is the art of the revealing process, of our embodiment programs. It's the art of learning to let go, our dating programs. It's all learning to let it flow through you, which makes you so much more attractive, flexible, fluid, healthier. You get better hormone balance. You get happier. Imagine being my number one goal for you guys is not getting women. My number one goal is not making you rich. My number one goal is not getting you all of the things you want in life. My number one goal is helping each one of you be happy, period, the rest of your life, to be able to really enjoy life, whatever that means, to really wake up each day excited and ready to tackle the day, to ready to go for it. That's my number one goal for all of you. And for some of you, that could be simple. For some of you, that could be huge. For some of you, that means letting go of some of the goals you've got because you really don't want them. It's just pure ego, and and the new ones will take their place that are real and solid. And for some of you, that means diving in deeper into some of these goals, because you know what, you haven't really gone for it yet, and you've just been thinking about it. But an honest truth is happiness is a choice, and you can be happy now with or without your goal. And that is my number one choice, because every goal you get is just going to lead to another goal anyways. So as you learn to just surrender all of that and just be happy, it actually becomes easier to get all those goals. But you don't need the goals to make you happy either. They're just icing on the cake. So cherry on top, you know? Okay. And the disruption system is that program we were talking about. So that'll I'm sure that'll be out as a program down the road after everybody's done. But for now, hopefully you enjoyed it. Were you hopefully you were in, if you were in the disruption system, Jeremy, hopefully you enjoyed it. I think you were. I think I remember your questions coming out all the time. Good to see you, buddy. Haven't seen you in a while. I did see you in the disruption system, because I haven't seen you in person in a while. That's what I mean. Thanks. I appreciate that, Chris. You are awesome. It's good having you. You're super consistent, dude. I see you on all these calls. It's really good to have you on all these calls. Okay. This is an interesting question. Do you still, J-Mac, do you still step into tension while you're feeling tight and heavy? Or do you stop and work out the tightness and heaviness first? I talked about this a little bit earlier, but I didn't say it quite this way. I try to mitigate the tension to a level that I can open up to. So if walking up to that girl is going to cause me to, and I'm like, hi, my name's Brian, and I'm all shut off and disconnected, I'm going to say, what can I do? How can I walk up and not tell her she's fucking hot, and just say hi? I just wanted to say hi. You have a cute dog or whatever. It feels natural and fluid, that I can really open my heart and relax in a little bit, even if I'm nervous. I'd much rather have her see me be open and nervous than tight and closed, because I don't want to reinforce that. The open and nervous, as long as I'm open, I'll be growing. It's when I'm closed that I can actually reinforce the wall, reinforce the wall, reinforce the wall. And then years later, I'm fucking Fort Knox, and I don't want that. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Jeremy. I love hearing that. I always want to bring you guys as much value as possible. So that's it, guys. I think that's it for tonight. You guys are awesome. We'll be back next week as usual. Tuesday night lives. We got Friday is Anthony's video, Sunday is my video, next video, and we got a whole year ahead of us to kill it. It's gonna be an amazing year. I know the world is in a crazy place, but that's just a law of transmutation, man. On the other side of it, I personally think it's going to be better than it's ever been. That might take a little while, maybe another year, 2 years as we're going through this transmutation, a few years, but or it could happen faster. But honestly, as I look at all the energies, I think we're heading to something amazing. It might get ugly a little bit first, but we're heading to something amazing. So, and if you keep revealing and cleaning up your mindset, cleaning up your nervous system, doing this work, it doesn't matter anyways. You're going to keep growing through it, and you're going to come out more rock solid. You might even grow bigger in the middle of it. And then and that's the amazing part. Really successful people. There were millionaires made during the Great Depression, Lots of millionaires that were made because other people bought into the depression. These guys were like, "Oh, there's so much opportunity. People need stuff during a depression." Same thing's going to happen here. So as we go through this tough time, but I think we're about to see some big changes. So that's just from watching the patterns in the energy. Let's see. Okay, we got a couple more questions before I close off. These principles work. I am happier and get more female attention as a bald, paunchy 56-year-old than when I was modeled in my 20s. At least that I've noticed. That happens, dude. Women really love energy, dude. They just love good energy on a man. And same thing with us, actually. If you guys ever noticed, pay attention to this. You see these hot, young, sexy women. They're great. But and then we say, "Oh, older women don't have it," but that's actually not true. When you get around an older woman that's still in her feminine, that hasn't hardened, that's really open and fluid and flows, she sucks guys in. She has guys following her just like the young 20-year-olds, and we love them. So, and it's same with you. When you become a solid, grounded, open, expressive man at any height, any age, any weight, women love you. So, let's see here, Richard. One question. When I'm in my body, I become very unclear, ungrounded, and full of energy. Yeah, good. It's good you're full of energy. That's the energy coming up. Oof, love it. How can I reclaim my decisiveness and clarity when I'm in my body? Well, you're probably having what I call, and I think I might want to do a program on this at some point, but you're probably having what I call in hypnosis. We have something called double binds, two different ideas competing for one. One rises up, and you got to solve that one, and then the next day the other one's up, and then, well, I look at it as triple, quadruple, binds. They just keep growing. Like I might have 5 or 6 things that my mind thinks is important, and every day it's shifting between them, and so you're unclear because it's bouncing between these goals, which are competing for attention. And some of them are like, one might be I need to go over here to this state and live here, and another one I might need to live in this state for different reasons. And so one day one seems clear, the next day the other one seems clear. That's all attachment. Buddha says the source of all suffering is attachment. It's all coming from your ego. So the releasing becomes really important here. You have to get very clear on your core wants and your attachments. And this is a little deep for the topic today. But this is why this is one of the reasons I'm doing some deep meditative releasing right now at about 3 hours a day and revealing, because I've been doing it for about a month, and it's breaking up. I had a bunch of that going on as I was growing bigger and getting more success in my life, and I needed to break that up. And it's already broken a lot of it up, and it's just growing and expanding now. Life's getting better and better. So I want to offer that to you, that sometimes you just need to stop and do less and clean up the mind, do the deep, and it can be a little bit of work till the mind cleans up. Also for you, Jeremy, learning to get the cap and look down at your problems from cap is part of that. Learning to go up into courage, acceptance, love, peace, really identify with that and look down at all the things that are bothering you that you need to fix and letting them go. Be willing to let go of each of your goals to see if your body wants it or if just your ego wants it. And once you let them all go, if they're meant to be, they will come into your life. But if your ego is attached to it, that will create suffering. Okay. Hopefully that answer works. I know you do a lot of deep work, so I think you'll get the idea. But I could create at some point. I may create a whole program on how to get out of the monkey mind. That monkey mind is a bitch, and it can really fuck up someone's growth. And there's specific ways to get through it. So, oh boy, all the questions are coming in now that I said we're stopping, huh? I love it. Good to hear, Richard. I'm 46 and feel like it's too late sometimes. 46 is so young. Jamie, I'm actually older than you, so you don't have. Look at Sam, dude. Sam is one of our coaches, man. He's going to be leaving us soon to do some other things, but he's 65 and just hiked the John Muir Trail. He's got girlfriends in their 20s. He's traveling the world. He's about to become a bodybuilder and compete. He's 46. You're young. Walter Russell said a real man's a man's life doesn't really start till 50. He's getting prepared for his big life, his real life, and up until 50. So you're still in the preparatory stage, according to him. Love you from India. Love you too, buddy. Hi, it's Jay. Sometimes when I'm in a releasing and free state, I feel like I'm almost so detached that I'm scared of not caring about things that impact my survival. Well, release that. Driving, etc. Anyway, around this. Look, like I'm not saying, be dangerous and do stupid things, but you don't need to be scared to drive safe, right? Wouldn't it be better to drive safe out of love and respect for yourself and humanity and for everybody around you than it would be out of fear? And if you release the fear, the need for survival, and start to have love for everybody around you and replace it with oneness, connection to everybody, love, that will take care of you. Okay? So that's what we want to focus on, buddy. Yeah, somebody posted a good video about that from me. This would help a lot. Brian, I have that double bind issue at times. Yeah. That's something I've been thinking about a lot as I've been moving through a lot of my own stuff. Boy, I'll tell you, as I've been going through all this stuff that was in my mind, bouncing around like a ping pong ball, because my life has gotten so much bigger, and I have real estate, and I have different things I'm dealing with. Suddenly, as I started to get more still, everything it just happens every time, 100% throughout my life. Every time I get beneath it all, cause all the revealing, get rid of all the binds and all the attachment and the aversions, and I'm like, okay, it is what it is. All the solutions show up, and they're very abundant. And suddenly money comes in, success comes in, ease comes in, and I'm like, hey, why didn't I just do this sooner? So, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll do that program. Oh yeah, I'll do that program. Awesome, Jeremy. That's one I would be super excited to set up. So I'm sure Cairo's taking notes already. He's like, we got a good one there. He helps me coordinate all this stuff. Thank you, Brian. I'm happier than ever before. Thanks, John Johnson. Nice, man. Is that your real name, JJ? John Johnson? I love it. That's awesome. Thanks. We'll definitely keep that in mind. Okay, guys. It's an awesome call. Extended a little longer because I wanted to answer all your questions. We didn't have a giant crowd today. I'm sure the giant crowds will come back. Probably because we took a few weeks off. But anyways, you guys all rock. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun. Love you all. We'll see you next Tuesday. And usually I say, remember, only the confident really live. But I want you guys to take this to heart as the topic, as our old slogan. We haven't used it much lately. Is what would you do if you weren't afraid? So if you let go of all your fear, all your anxiety, all your doubt, all your worry, all your anger, and you just had courage left, and you knew no matter what happened, you were going to learn and grow to the next amazing level, what would you go after? Think about that today. Think about that. And if you want, you can go put in a comment in the YouTube after this goes out on YouTube. Okay. We love you too, man. And you guys take care and have a beautiful night.